So guys, welcome to another gardening video on my channel. With spring just around the corner, I thought I'd give you 5 tips on how to prepare your garden for the flourishing season, for the spring season. All right, I hope it's helpful. I hope it gets you gardening, and I hope it gets you excited for the new season, because you can see I am. All right, without further ado, become a member, subscribe, like the video if you do, and let's go straight into the video, please. All right, so the first thing that you need to do, right, and you can see this patch, it needs some removal of debris. First tip: get rid of all the debris, all the dead plants that were here from the last season, from the season before, from the winter season. Get rid of them. Okay, you can see here, I think this was some cauliflower that I had left. So yeah, this is old or dead cauliflower that I had. So definitely now the first thing that you need to be doing is getting rid of all of the debris, and the best way to do this is then to start your own compost heap, right? So take off all of these things and then start your own compost heap. So let's just, and the beautiful thing about actually just letting it die on the ground is that it actually creates a type of mulch which protects the soil. Okay, and you can see that in here, let's just dig in here. You can see here that the soil is a lot better as compared to the soil that wasn't covered. So even if you just look here, and it just protects the garden a bit more. And I think it's also very expected that in winter the soil becomes dry, so at least helping it when it does rain, just to give it a bit of more help. So as I said, you should start a little compost heap. This patch, I'm actually just using it to cover. Basically, I think this patch just needs some rest. It needs just some help in terms of nutrients. So I just put some of my dead plants here, just to give it some, just to give it some protection. Also just to retain some of the moisture, and also feed back the nutrients that these dead plants have as well. But if you have a compost heap, I would put it in there and then just, let that do what this. If you can also see in this patch, we have also some rocket as well, and then we also have some morojo, right? So these ones, I'm actually going to leave them in the ground because I want to save some of the seeds that they have. So, it's not very easy to get the morojo seeds, and also the rocket seeds. I would rather just, instead of buying a new set, just use this as a new, just use this plant to get me some seeds. Okay, so yeah, definitely, if you have such a situation, then try and save as many seeds as you can. But yeah, for me, it's just gonna be these two, and then the rest of this ground, I wanna plant some more stuff. So this brings me to the next tip, which still has a lot to do with the soil, and this is aerating the soil. And this just means basically just doing this. You see, you're just massaging the soil, because in the winter season the soil has really gotten really dry and compact, and everything has just become very solid. So what you need to do in the garden is just to make sure that everything is soft for the next planting season. Okay, just so that you give your roots of the new plants the best chance of success. Okay, so this helps with as I said, the roots. It will give the roots of the new plants some breathing room, and it will also aerate the soil, which you need just to give it some breath. Okay, so it just makes it easier to plant, also to plant some of your new crops. Basically, you can see that I'm aerating the soil with a spade, just a normal spade. You can also do it with this, a little pitchfork, just to make everything a bit softer. But I like this one. It's a bit more, does the job more, and it spreads things around a lot better. But then this brings me to the next tip, and you can already see that I've actually integrated some of nutrients, and the easiest way to do this is with compost. Compost is your best friend. You should get some compost in your garden, just so that you can add some nutrients and literally integrate it as easy as 1, 2, 3 into the garden, okay, and into your soil. The compost actually adds some more nutrients to the garden in a very easy and simple way, and a very natural way. Okay, so you can see now the ground is a lot more softer, it's a lot more aerated, it has a lot more breathing room. See what I mean? You can just literally, all of the debris, you see all this debris that I have also, it helps with just collecting more of that. So this part I can just take out and then put more into the compost. But you can see from this area here, you know, it's a lot more aerated, and you can just add more compost if need be. Then the next step we have is, and you can see here, this is full of this, and this is mulching. Guys, please, I have to emphasize how important mulching is. If I just let me just actually just show you a bit of this, you know? The mulch literally retains a lot of moisture. Okay, okay, so literally here it's so wet in here, and it hasn't rained in quite some time. You can even feel that it's cold, and this is the beautiful thing about mulch. Mulch will retain the moisture that you have in the soil, and with the dry period in winter, it's so important in order to retain as much as you can, because it just doesn't rain at all. So with the spring season coming up, it would be best if you can use the mulch in order to retain some of the moisture that has been there, and also you will add more moisture as the days come in. When it's the spring season, all of this rain is gonna come in, and then you will be able to retain all this moisture. What I also like about mulch is that you also, number one, you protect it from the rain so that nothing gets washed away, and also you add nutrients back into the garden. Also, I must also emphasize that you also you suppress the weeds. Okay, you can see here, as compared to, let's say here, which doesn't have a lot of mulch, compared to this patch, it doesn't have too much weeds. So definitely, please, like, the mulch is so important to get inside the garden. So the different types of mulch could be bark. Okay, you can get some bark, as I have here. You can get some wood chips. I would recommend some wood chips, because this one actually has like a lot of added nutrients to this. The bark, not so much. This one can just be used as a as protection for the soil. So it depends on what you want to achieve for each patch that you have. So if you want just protection, the bark would be good. If you want protection and some added nutrients, go for the mulch. Okay, go for the meaty cheeses. All right, you can even use compost as some mulch, and this one you can also integrate it in the soil. So you see, like this is kale, and you can see that it's just literally just protected by the bark, and it amazes me how soft the soil is, and also how wet it is, because it's been literally so long since it's rained, and also look how easily I just took out these weeds. Just took them out so easily. It amazes me how beneficial the mulch is to the garden. Okay, so yeah, add that. Then last but not least, we have actually planting. All right, or let me say, planning your layout. Let's be formal about it. So this is the time now to actually plan where you want to plant all of these new vegetables, the spring season vegetables. Where do you want to plant them? How do you want to plant them? You can see here we have some peas growing, and these are planted next to the trellis. So I did this intentionally so that they have something to grow up on, right? And this is my trellis garden, right? This is my trellis patch, where I always just plant the the crops that need to be upright. This is now the time for you to plan what are the crops that you want to grow. Can you grow them in your climate? What are the preparations that you need in order to grow these crops? You know, just like the peas, just like pumpkin, let's say for example, pumpkin, you need to have a lot of space in order to grow it. Potatoes, you need a lot of soil to keep the potatoes nice and plump. You know, just all of these things. This is the time for you to plant them. Maybe plants that require more sun, you know, get it in a patch that has a lot of sun. You know, all of this is the time for you to prep for the soil. And what I can give you is that I've made a video on all of the crops that you can grow now in August, and these will be ready for you when it comes to springtime. Okay, check that out. It'll pop up on your right, I think on the top right, it'll pop up right there. So yeah, definitely do some of that. Okay guys, get yourself some gardening, please. Then bonus tip, guys, water the garden. Once you've aerated, once you've planted, once you've put on some compost, just water the garden. Okay, just make sure that it's now moist, and you give it some you know, just some living space. Okay, just some aeration. And this is also just for the top layer. You see how I'm doing just for the top layer? Doesn't need to be too deep. Yeah, this is basically just to keep the plants alive, and also the compost will do most of the retaining as well. So just make sure that you water the garden, please. So yeah, guys, that will be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. Spring is really around the corner. I can feel like it's getting hot. I'm in my shorts. There's no more cold like that. I think only once it gets to the night, then it starts getting cold. I'm in a frost area, so you know, it's been a bit more different. It's been a lot harder in order to actually plant some stuff and to get them going. They take a lot longer to actually even sprout. So yeah, I'm happy about the peas that are growing. I'm gonna probably plant some more peas just to fill in the gaps over there. And then, you know, I'm gonna start growing the new crops. Okay, it's that time, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. Become a member, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please also give me all your suggestions, all your what's, all the comments. Love you guys. I love you all with all my heart and soul. Love, peace, and grow every single day.